Ready, darling?
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready.
Oh my God, so ready.
Born ready.
Wow, we're fucking rolling hen. Welcome back, Amber.
Oh my
Welcome
gosh.
back.
It's an honour.
She's back
Thank
in
you.
the studio, back for round 2 of the Weekly Wigs. Welcome, gang.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
episode 19. Nearing the 20th episode. Can you believe that?
Absolutely.
Can you believe that? I'm quite impressed with myself that I've actually kept up so consistently for that long.
That's blimey.
Bit of effort.
Blimey.
Well, welcome back, Amber Adel.
Thank you.
It is lovely to have you back on the pod. And I mean, you are conveniently staying in my house again.
I can't remember. I was going to
works
say,
out.
I can't remember if we said that in the last one, but it is now
think we
turned into the
did.
T's and C's.
Yeah, slight plug. If you're not familiar with Miss Amber Adel, go find yourself back at episode. What episode would it have been? Maybe it was like episode 7 or
I was
something.
trying to think, was it like
can't
around
remember.
5? I actually can't remember.
I will link it in the bio. But we did a full episode kind of about your journey as a Miss Actress
I'm glad you remember,
in your
because
life.
I was here going, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what did we speak about?
We kind of did a
Yeah.
backstory of like
Oh.
how we knew each other,
Yeah, we
and
did.
you spoke a lot about like you're pursuing acting. So we're obviously not going to go into all that today. But if you're interested,
In the
go
beginning.
listen. Yeah. But today we're just here to chat some shit and also to just have a little catch up with you since you were last on the pod, because your gal's been busy, have you not?
I actually can't. When did we do the last one? November? Must have been.
Was it actually? Oh my God.
Yeah, it must
It
have
was
been.
a few
It
months
wa-
ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a couple of months.
You've been travelling, haven't you?
I have indeed.
That's actually going to be like the premise of our episode today, is we're just going to like shoot the shit about travel stories, travel experiences. Because I actually do get a lot of feedback sometimes about people wanting to hear more about traveling, solo traveling, like just tips and tricks and story times and all the rest of it. So, but before we quickly dive into that whole thing, we were just sat on the sofa watching the 6 o'clock news, as we do, because there's a war going on. So, got to check in with what's happening in the world. And on the headline news at 6 p.m. on BBC News, Miss Britney Spears arrested for drink driving. I'm really sad. Let's get your live reaction to that, please, Amber. Because we do have Culture Corner over here on the pod, so we've got to sprinkle a bit of Culture Corner before we get into the travel stuff.
It said arrested for DUI, right?
Yeah, the driving under the influence, right?
Listen, like, as I kind of said, she has been having an interesting journey.
She has.
And
Our girl's been going through
Yeah.
it.
And I feel like, God bless her soul, I'm sure she's been through so much in her life.
Oh my God.
But the
too
last
much
video
to
someone sent me of her was, she didn't look, she didn't
doesn't
seem
look
mentally
well.
healthy.
No. It's really sad because, like, obviously her entire backstory is, like, quite a story in itself, obviously. Most of the people know that. Like, she's, rose to fame at a young age, super global icon, pop star, all the rest of it. And, like, arguably one of the best, like, pop stars ever of our
A
time.
noughties, 90s icon.
Yeah, complete icon. And, like, just the way her story has gone. It is one of those sort of tragic Hollywood stories, isn't it, that often happens, like sometimes like child stars, like it's given kind of Amanda Bynes vibes, like where they just get treated so poorly and then it's not like a shock, is it, that they sort of end up a bit like this. And then throw on top of that all the drama she had with the conservatorship, the whole Free Britney moment in time.
Yeah.
I mean, how times have changed, haven't they?
Yeah.
From that period of time.
Listen, that girl used to be able to absolute pop and lock some shapes in her music
Poppin',
videos.
lockin',
Pop and
pokin',
lock.
talkin'.
And as far as I'm aware, and I don't listen, you're the Britney, you're like,
I am a Britney mega fan.
I
feel like I haven't
no
shared that with the
offense to
pod
Britney
yet.
and Britney
Yeah.
fans, but like, I'm not. But I'm sure I read or heard somewhere that back when, her career was peak, she used to like turn up to her music videos and basically choreograph on the spot, nail it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And I just...
You can't deny the talent and like the enigma that Britney Spears is, just as in terms of like her career and a performer.
But then when I see her dancing videos now,
I know. But this is what's so
that's
crazy
what
about it,
hurts
because it's
my
like
soul.
any real Britney fan knows that, like, that is not her. Like, she's an amazing dancer, and yeah, okay, maybe she's not, like, if you think about all the iconic music videos over the years and all the different, like, the Slave for You dance and all this stuff, like, obviously she's had choreographers who choreograph her, but like, I know for many years on the side, she used to like teach kids at dancing classes and stuff. So it's not like she doesn't have the talent or the skill.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So when you obviously see these videos of her constantly twirling in the kitchen, I'm like, what? Like, what has happened? Because even just from a standpoint of, like you said, like her dancing and stuff, it's like that's not been what's she doing?
It's a shame. It's a real shame.
And the ones with her with the knives. Remember there was a video of her and she was dancing and twirling. She had knives in her hands.
I don't think I saw that one, but there wasn't there like a whole thing that whether it was real or not, like whether it was true or not, but they were performative knives?
Apparently so.
Well, I don't think they were performative knives.
I mean, this is the same girl that burned down her gym. Girl! There's honestly... I was just saying to you, wasn't I, on the sofa, like, there was kind of a point in time, like, Britney had post-conservatorship and she was free and everyone was like, yes, free Britney, like, including myself. And then, you know, she was posting her twirling videos and I think people were kind of laughing at her, unfortunately, and it was very much like, ha ha, hee hee, what's Britney doing? But I think it's honestly just got past that point now where it's just not even, like, funny anymore, which, that sounds really mean to say, because it's, like, sad that people were even laughing at her in the first place, but...
I think initially, though, you know, when you start seeing her and you know she was in the oh my God, what's it called again?
Conservatorship.
Thank you. I was like,
it is quite a long word, isn't it? Yeah.
Conservatorship.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, it's really liberating. Now she can do her own thing. And then, you know, you see more of it and then you see these new stories and you're like, maybe there was a reason.
Do you know what I've been seeing some commentary on, though, which is kind of a counter-argument to that, is like, this is... like, you can argue, like, yeah, maybe the conservatorship helped her a bit, but actually, low-key, maybe the conservatorship is what's made her like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yo, maybe
like,
the industry, the whole industry, because let's be real.
She's been traumatized, that woman. I can't imagine how deep that must run, feeling that much trauma from, like, your own family as well, because her dad was obviously the conservator, or whatever they call themselves. Like, he was the one in charge of her life. And, of course, they just, like, were fractured in their relationship for various reasons, but that just must be so traumatizing that comes from, like, your own family as well.
But listen, even not as a pop star, if my dad was in control of my life, I'd be livid. As an elder daughter, that is not happening.
Sorry, hen, gotta go.
I am the man in the house. No way.
I think
what the hell?
The recent stuff, obviously, now that she's been arrested for drink driving, I think that's the saddest part about it, because I think it was quite public a few years ago that she did struggle with, like, potentially substances or drink, which is why kind of, well, the last kind of, I don't want to call it a meltdown because I feel like that's a bit of a sad way to describe
episode.
It. But yeah,
like
when she was very rightly so going through a very tough time in 2007, remember when she obviously shaved her head and she was just, like, ridiculed at that time. And I mean, some of it just very valid to feel that way. She was going through a divorce.
Yeah,
she was so young.
I have had many hair chops. So the older I get, the more I sort of understand that level of Britney, and I feel like I'm not the only one. I'd be like, girl, yeah.
The way I understand why she would take an umbrella to a car, I can't express, like,
if anything, I think an umbrella to a car is very polite. Like,
in it. I could do
real.
far worse. I would like to do far worse, like, many a time. But anyway, so she obviously, you know, went through that trauma, which honestly pretty valid at the time. And then all the fallout comes from that. And then you just look at it now and you just think, oh, it's sad that she's kind of almost gone back to that place and people aren't, like, clearly... I just question, like, who's her support system in her life? Do you know what I mean? Like, especially post-conservatorship, now that she probably doesn't have good relationships with her family, like, who's actually there for her? Do you know what I mean? Because it must be quite sad to spiral back to that place. Oh,
bless her.
Bless her girl Britney. Well, I hope she, like, gets better and she just finds peace. I think that's all she needs in this life, bit of peace in it.
Take her on a little journey.
Oh, Brit, free Brit. But, like, get a better girl.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, I just thought we'd break that breaking news that you'll hear in a few days. But we're all about breaking news
There's
here
so
on the
many
Weekly
breaking-
Wigs. I say that, and this gets uploaded in like 4 days' time, and the news is probably passed by then. But that's how we roll around here. So
Time's a concept. It's fine.
what else is going on in Culture Corner? Have you been up to anything in Culture Corner in your life?
The Culture Corner for me personally, so I would say average.
Oh God, what was I going to say?
It's not even that funny. It's just I love conspiracy theories, and
Oh,
I
do
love
you?
mate.
I could put you on
Oh
some
my
YouTube
God,
channels.
no.
Shane Dawson.
I am obsessed. Not that I believe in them. I just love the imagination of them. And my favorite one this week has been Jim Carrey not being Jim Carrey.
Oh my God, I literally was listening to this about
straight up.
he's like being cloned.
Mhm.
Isn't it just that he's had face filler?
Yo,
and he
but
just
the
looks
thing
different?
is, I love how hard everyone goes into like analysing every interview and he is a very, to be fair, I am a big Jim Carrey fan. Weird.
Really?
I wonder why it's so great.
He is
I just love him, and I know that he's spoken so much in loads of interviews, like not even recently, but like throughout his career about the industry, the corruption of the industry, the darkness of the industry as well, that kind of coincides, but is more deep now we know because of certain documentos. But he also talks about his own mental health and how like he's very like spiritual though, like he's kind of woo woo, and I love that. And there's just multiple, mate, there's just so many things where people have referenced him going like, I would never touch my face, more or less, and if I do, you'd know I've been cloned. Hence why everyone went on the whole cloning thing. And it's just, and also, this is what I can't wrap my head around. Do I think that it's a fake Jim Carrey? No, I'll allow you to believe. What I really
the real
want,
Jim Carrey, please stand
literally,
up.
I really wanted that man to find like a really similar impersonator and hire them to turn up and get the award on his behalf, because for me that would have been the most Jim Carrey thing to do, because he always says he hates like the ceremonies and the red carpets, like, but he turns up to them, but like, but the one thing I can't understand about him getting a facelift or whatever work done is I think he really hit the big time in like 1994 with obviously The Mask, and there was definitely something else I can't remember, but it was definitely The Mask and something else. And he is one of Hollywood's most successful, decades-long actors that is known, for me personally, his facial expressions.
Oh, absolutely.
And
he's so emotive in his face.
I love his energy and like the whole. He's so that's Jim Carrey. You don't think of like subtle features. It's like the Grinch wouldn't be the Grinch without that. Like there's in the Mark, like every one of his roles, they just has that. And that, for me, is what I find really odd, for him to get to 64 or something and then pump his face with both. That, for
so
me,
how do we know,
I don't get.
Is it, like, how can we even verify? Is it on video, or is it just a picture? Like, who's to say it's not edited?
No, it's he accepted an award for something, I don't know what, in Paris, I believe. And there's a whole video of him doing his speech in French. And I would say the similarities are there. Like, he looks like a really odd version of Jim Carrey. But it's just bizarre that he turned up. And a lot of the interviews prior, in the last couple of years that he's done, he's obviously... But then again, man, this could be an episode. Do you know what I mean? Like, I watched so many and he's like, none of this is real. And I'm like, I hear you, Jim. I hear you. However, I think maybe you're having a bit of a troublesome time at the moment. Or like maybe the reality, you know what I mean? Like whatever he may or may not be diagnosed with.
How old is Jim Carrey? Was he in his 60s?
He's like 63, 64, I think. I Googled it.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, sus.
He's gonna make something of this though. Like, there'll be an award ceremony coming up soon, and he's gonna do a whole. He's just gonna do a bit, isn't he? And everyone's gonna be like, "Lol."
I really wanted him to have hired like a really similar impersonator, because that would have been a really good bit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of similar conspiracy theories, do you know which one I have loved for years? Is the one that Avril Lavigne is apparently not alive.
Mate,
apparently she's got a body double. Like, what a wild rumor to have about you. I think she addressed it, didn't she, on that Call Her Daddy podcast a few years ago, when it's like, no, like, I'm very much me. I'm very much alive.
That's what a clone would say, though.
You are deep in the investigation. You should be an investigative journalist.
This is what I mean when people are like, I don't believe in this. And I'm like, oh, I will listen. I will listen to the theories.
Well,
and then
you
I'm
need
like, wow.
to. There's a YouTuber who's been popular for a few years called Shane Dawson, and he does
Okay.
all sorts of videos on conspiracy theories, which you would probably love. So, although he's slightly controversial in the last few years, he got cancelled.
I was going to say the name rings a bell, but not a good one.
But he's really popular with conspiracy theorist videos. But I can't say I've ever gotten into conspiracy theories, but you hear of them, and you do sometimes go,
I love it.
What? Like, I just love how people get to those conclusions and how invested people
Exactly.
are.
That's
It's quite
why
funny.
I love to see how imaginative people are. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, there's loopholes or there's like flaws in this conspiracy. And I quite like the mind game.
So that is your culture corner then. Conspiracy culture corner. Love it.
Clones.
Clones. Where are they? Oh, what do you think about the conspiracy theory that Walt Disney is like frozen somewhere? Isn't that one of them? That his body has been frozen and he wasn't buried or something?
He just seems like an old dude.
Yeah, he died like a long time ago, right? long time
like
ago.
He could have had his body. Listen, if I was Mr. Disney dude, I'd probably do something extra.
Just chuck it in the freezer.
I was going to say, put me with a
Mickey Mouse
Calypso.
stuffed toy or something. I guarantee he probably had like a Mickey Mouse like in his coffin or wherever he is in his fridge, you would think. Interesting segue into travel.
the most natural segue, some would say.
So I've actually been wanting to do this kind of topic for a while. I did a little episode a while ago on just like my experiences of solo traveling in general, because I've done a lot of solo traveling. But obviously you've just come back from sort of like, well, we won't call it full traveling because you did that year previous, which you'll get into, but you've just come back sort of from like a mini travel.
A little taste.
But you went obviously solo as well. So like just tell us a bit about where your travel started and what like inspired that. Like maybe just dive into that a bit.
Oh gosh, what inspired it? What, in terms of all my travel or like the travel?
Well, yeah,
part?
maybe specifically like the longer travels that you did.
Okay.
You know, like you envision like travel, you can say like a holiday. But
I went like backpacker.
You like backpacking. Yeah, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. That one I'd wanted to do. Actually, no. Would early 20 Amber ever think she was going to be a backpacker by her the late 20s? No. Absolutely not.
I feel like it's almost like you are a backpacker or you're not. It's like there's two types of people in the world. The ones that entertain, the ones that don't.
I was like, Megs, we both know that.
It's fresh in the brain.
She would not survive in a hostel.
No, oh my God. Well, that's literally, we were sort of saying on the last episode together, just like our personalities, how like Amber's not a planner, I'm a planner. And we're actually kind of hilariously opposite in so many ways. And yeah, I wouldn't even say I'm bougie. It's just that like, I just like a comfort in a bed. I like my own space a lot. So I don't fare well in hostels, which... Next plug is go listen to my episode that I did about my Camp America travel, which I'll probably touch on a bit today because that's in my list of topics. But like that was my first experience doing a hostel, and I like immediately knew, I was like, no, this is not for me. Like, who are these strangers that I'm sharing a room with? I don't like it. But you are a hostel girl.
I'm a hostel girly. I'm a bit of both. Like, I'll be real. Both times, the one I've recently got back from, I only ended up doing 5. I say only, that sounds so ungrateful. You know what I mean? For like a backpacker travel vibe. It ended up being 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But then, at the end of 2023 to early 24, I did like 4.5 months.
Yeah, that's a long time travel.
Yeah. That was a while.
She got a lot picked up in those 4 months.
Oh boy. And yeah, both times I went to Southeast Asia. Both times I did the backpackers vibe. But I think as well, because Southeast Asia is, especially for a Westerner, I would say so affordable, specifically when you're doing hostels. Because I've done hostels in like Amsterdam, for example, and Australia now. And they were so much more expensive.
Yeah.
And
well, I was going to ask you actually, like, even though I think hostels bring a bit more, shall we say, of an authentic travel experience because you're mixing with more travellers and young people or whatever, but do you think a lot of it is driven just by the monetary factor of travelling? Like, if you had like an unlimited pot of money, would you choose hostels still?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
In Southeast Asia, absolutely. I have to say, in Australia and Amsterdam, I would have just gone with a private room personally, like that one. But yeah, no, I think for me, because it is still affordable, I'll be completely real. Like, there's only a couple of pounds between like a private room when you're in certain places. So it'd be like, I don't know, £7 a night for a hostel, but £10 a night for a private bungalow. Obviously,
It's
yeah.
not bad.
The first 3 weeks, I think, I only did a week in a hostel and I did 2 weeks in private because there was like nothing to it. And I was like, no, I'm loving this. But the hostels I love because you meet people.
Yeah,
And that's it.
Especially
It's
if you're
so
being
easy.
like a backpacker style traveler where you
Yeah.
are going to be away for that long anyway, it's probably worth it because you're going to want to meet people. Like when I've done my solo travels, I'm obviously not going away for that length of time and I'm just usually chilling at a hotel for a week. So it's like I'm never that arsed if I'm not necessarily meeting people or sharing a room because it's like, oh, well, I'll probably just end up speaking to
Yeah.
people by the pool. Like it's fine. But when you're, I guess, away for that length of
Yeah.
time, that feels like an important element
Yeah.
of wanting to find similar travelers as well because
Yeah,
you want to
totally.
you probably want to like share certain plans with people too and find people to do stuff with, right?
Well, this is the thing. Like the first time, I love it because it's kind of the the planner non-planner vibe of just like I kind of love backpacking because I literally
go with the flow.
Yeah, I can be a wave in the ocean, baby. I literally just book a couple of days in advance. I was booking like flights the day before. And
I could never. My anxiety could never.
I'll be real. There was a few of my friends that I met. They were like, "I've just turned up to the island and I haven't got a place to stay yet." And I'm like, "I've never been that girly."
No, I swear on my life that you were booking hotels like the night before, right?
Oh yeah, the night before. That's fine.
I would have a meltdown. I would have a meltdown.
It's so easy, Megs. Nah, it's so easy. Like I think that's what I love about it is that I think what the Western world like, I don't even know, complexifies. Do you know, like just. It just makes it different. Yeah, really. It really, it's just, no, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. Like, everything is so easy out there and they're
Do you
so
think that's
accessible.
If you think about it, though, it probably is connected to money because I guess the truth is, in the Western world, let's say if you were going to Europe, I would argue that in most places, if you are booking something quite last minute, it's going to be more expensive the closer to the time. Like, well, that's just maybe my experience. Like, sometimes when you book further in advance for like certain holidays, it can be cheaper. Whereas if you're thinking about like Southeast Asia, it's so cheap anyway, in general, like in terms of the currency. Like, is it more flexible with money for that?
Who
maybe?
knows? I mean, I know like Europe gets a load of like backpackers. I've never done like Europe as a backpacker, but I think there's so many places. I just think it's so easy, and I think they're really chill. I just find them really accommodating. So like, yeah, like I suppose, yeah, if you booked a hotel,
yeah, maybe that's the difference in it actually, because it is the hotel and hostel difference. Because I guess I'm comparing it to hotels because hostels actually are generally cheap all the time, aren't they? Like in comparison,
unless
to a hotel.
It's a certain like festival or something, they still whack their prices up. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to stay in a hostel in the UK.
Oh my God, I can think of anything worse.
I don't know where I'd find them. I don't know.
I don't even.
But then
know.
why would I? Like, I wouldn't think of like I'm going to go here and stay in a hostel. I'd be like, I mean, Amsterdam was the biggest one I've done, and that was like 24 people in a room.
Oh, and it's well, you can choose, can't you, whether it's mixed gender or
sometimes,
just female?
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a choice in this one then?
I don't think there was any space left in the same-sex dorms. No.
What was that experience like?
One man was talking at 1 a.m. and I was like, you clearly never stayed in a hostel before. You should be quiet. But obviously, as a lone woman, I wasn't going to tell him that. And another man should have done that, but they didn't. So I just put my earplugs in and went to sleep. But no offense, it was a complete scouse lad. I was like, firstly, you're letting the UK team down. Why? I don't care. Save it in a voice note. Ring them in the morning. I don't care. Go outside.
Slight tangent. It actually is always the British people. They're
they're awful.
Most embarrassing.
They are even in Southeast Asia. Let's even like, I've been to Thailand twice now, and I'm not even being funny. Both times you turn up, and I'm like, I hate that I know you're a Brit. I hate that I know.
I feel like Brits and Americans are very equal on that. Like Americans can be quite loud and obnoxious when you travel places sometimes. Yeah. And I've experienced that when I went to Mexico because Americans love going to like Mexico and Cancun because it's like fairly close to them and it's like their version of Ibiza for us kind of thing. Is that type of getaway. So they're kind of annoying. But then do you know what? I have stayed as of late technically in a hostel. It was a private room.
Oh, private
I'm
room. Yeah,
remembering now.
okay.
Sorry, this is
Yes,
going back to
actually-
me.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was in Krakow in
Yes.
Poland, and actually, it was such a nice place because it was like a blended one. It had hostel rooms, and then you could get private rooms. But
Yeah, a lot of them do that.
It basically
it's
was
nice.
like the room that I had to myself did in fact house like 4 people. It had bunk beds in it, which was kind of random, but I obviously wasn't using the bunk bed. But the rooms next to me were obviously housing like groups of friends, right? Like 5, 6 of them in a
Yeah.
room. And I just remember being in there one day, and it's like I can just hear them in the corridor, just British accents, and they're just they're so
Yeah.
loud. And it's like, girlies, you're in the corridor of like the hotel. People might be sleeping. Take conversations to like the common areas, and it's just like, oh, why are we so embarrassing? Why are we actually so embarrassing?
When I was in Thailand the first time, it was Halloween, and I was in Chiang Mai, and I forget now what the Chiang Mai going out area is. It's just like a cool square of a load of cool clubs. And in this one outside club dance floor thing, there was a group of 6 to 7 100% British lads, and they were one obviously completely drunk, and one of them was dancing, but like, God bless his soul, really committing to it. Like, he obviously
Committed to the
thought
bit.
he could absolutely move, but he was awful. But like, he was really committing to it. And then I watched it, and there's people on tables, and they're just dancing in between, and there's like load of really like, I think there was like a Chinese couple on one table, and they're really like, they're nothing alike. They're nothing like. They were quiet. They were in, having their own conversation, having a drink. And then this guy, he pours his beer into his shoe, and he drinks it, and then he lobs his shoe in the air, and it falls down on their table. And I'm stink eyeing them, going,
Where is your
Go home.
decorum,
yeah,
darling?
I was like, I hate you. Where are your mothers? They can send you home right now. I was just like, I hate them. And
oh my God, do you remember that program, Sun-Sex and Suspicious
Yes.
Parents? And
oh my God, that was like a no.
I was
oh,
obsessed
wow.
with that program, and I could just
Also,
picture what
let's
their parents would have been
not being
thinking.
funny. What a weird boundary program.
Mate, reality TV in those years were unhinged. It still is quite
Let's
unhinged.
be
but that was
real. That's
side
so
tangent.
weird.
Well, sorry, I have spoken this on an episode before, but did you watch the America's Next Top Model documentary thing?
No.
Did you ever watch that growing up?
No.
Oh my God, talk about unhinged television. You need to watch that because it was insane the things they made these models do. Like removing teeth. Like they did a whole...
When has that ever come up in anyone's modelling career? And then you'll get to the bottom of the
No.
catwalk and pull out someone's teeth.
I actually
What?
feel like you could do an entire episode just on like the unhinged reality TV programs that we've
man.
grown up watching because it is actually insane.
Snog, marry, avoid. Savage.
Oh, I never watched that one.
Oh
What
my
was
God,
that
I
on?
love Snog, marry, avoid. Was it that? I'm sure it was called Snog, marry, avoid. They got somebody from like the street, and like back in the day, this is like, they'd get like a really seen kid, right? So she'd have
Mhm.
really blue, like emo-y hair, whatever the
Yeah.
hell. And then they'd put her in this pod, and then they would basically make her like a normal person, and they would just
What?
show her how she was beautiful in a normal,
Oh, that's
stereotypical
so
way.
sad.
And then they'd ask the public then if they'd snog, marry, or avoid them, compared to her when they'd first dragged her off the street, basically. And it was just like, oh my God, horrid. Actually, when you
What?
think about it, horrid, because they were like, oh,
my God.
more of the public liked you when you basically you looked like everyone else and you had none of your own expression.
Oh my God. Talk about traumatizing
It's
young women.
I've never really thought into
Jesus.
that, but as you were going, I was like, oh my God, I used to love Snog, Marry, Avoid. And that's basically what they did. They'd get people that dress really quirky. Sometimes it would be like, oh, this person wears like really old people clothes and they're actually not finding their new thing. And they'd actually be like, oh, wow, I feel so much more confident now. And I'm just like, yeah, but sometimes they would just get like someone that was, if I'm honest, probably me, that wears all her baggy boy clothes. And then they'd be like, most of the public said they would avoid you.
Oh my God.
And then they'd put me in there and dress me like a stereotypical girly.
like a
and then
Barbie or something.
literally. And then they were like, wow, I definitely like snog and marry her.
The world wonders why we all have insecurities about the way we look because of society's view of what we should all be looking like. That's where those things began,
yeah,
didn't it? Snog,
yeah.
marry. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Crazy.
And now we have
Yeah.
fucking naked attraction where we're basically judging people's genitals. How is that allowed in the fucking 2020s? Do you know what I mean? I
Also,
can't believe that's a program.
I don't want to start off a show, or I don't want to actually see anyone first by seeing their toes first. I don't want to see that.
Oh, Well,
all that-
toes are the
they get
mildest of
toes.
worries.
knees. They got nice legs. I was like, right, but are they a night? Just stop it.
Imagine judging someone
No.
based off your knees.
I knew it. Do you know what? That curtain came up and she had cracking knees. I knew I was in love.
They're like getting married at the altar. Me and your mother were first met on a television show.
Listen here, kids.
She had some cracking knees, eh? Yeah.
She's an horrible person, but those knees made me
Forget those knockers. It's all about them knees.
It's such a weird concept.
God. And mind you, this is actually all British television programmes, most of it.
Oh, dating programmes are so unhinged.
I think what I'm gathering here is that we're actually just such an embarrassment as UK people.
Yeah.
Like, our behaviour and our thoughts of what's funny, it's just not funny.
Oh, no. I hate
Why
them.
are we so weird? We're such a
Gross.
weird bunch, aren't we?
Horrid.
Well, speaking of weird benches, did you come across any weird benches when you were on your travels? Any fun stories? What was the weirdest, like, do you have a particular weird encounter or a moment? Because to be fair, like, travel does bring, can bring interesting stories and strange people, lovely people too. But yeah, like,
I think I am the strange people that you're liking to meet.
It's me. It is me.
I'm a lot of people's stories by going, yeah, I met some absolute characters out there.
Fair.
Yeah. Weird. Not one guy really threw me because he asked me, like, I was in Nusa Penida. I'm going to call him out. He was called Martin. Oh, sorry, camera.
That's right.
He was called Martin and he
listen
was
up.
from Germany. And
Martin
that
from
is
Germany.
all I remember, other than you were creepy. So I was in a bungalow. This is when I was on my own again. And
What country was this?
this was Indonesia.
Right.
And it's Nusa Penida is a small island just off the coast of Bali. And yeah, I was staying in a bungalow on my own. And there were like 5 bungalows where I was staying, but it was out of season. So it was like December time. So it was quite quiet anyway. And I noticed I had basically is a mate. It's just so great. Most places in this, that's another thing. So you might pay like £10 a night for like your own bungalow, but they'll also very, very regularly include breakfast in that price.
God, that's well good.
Yeah. So I'm out on my balcony and I'm having the breakfast and it is provided in my bungalow. And I can see that there's like the other 3 bungalows are like empty and they're being cleaned out and everyone's obviously left. And then right at and I was like maybe bungalow 4 and there's a dude at bungalow 1. And I'm like, obviously when you're traveling and back, whatever, I will talk to everyone. I love people. But this guy, I can see him sort of like with his coffee and he like mooches over and I'm like, oh, hey. And we start chatting and he's at the bottom of my steps of like the balcony bit. And he asked me about Canggu, which is, if I'm honest, a really area of Bali. Like it's the area you would...
Not the best.
No, it's like influencer, Western. It's you only go there for specific things. It's not, you don't go there for culture, that's for sure. Yeah, if you go to Bali, just avoid, in my opinion, if you want to see culture, don't go to Kuta and don't go to Canggu. That's yeah. But he was asking me about that, and I was like, I'd not actually been at that point. And anyway, the conversation goes on, and he's just standing at the bottom of my steps, and I'm on one of the chairs. Either way, you know what? This is just turning into a man and a woman story. It's basically I think it's just the typical white. It's gonna make me mad. Anyway,
I am actively triggering your trauma right now.
I am. I was like, he was weird, but actually, this is just a bigger issue. So he's chatting away, and I then move to my second chair, and I just go, "Oh, sit down. Like, if we're gonna have a chat, it seems dumb that you're just sat there. I'm kind of just drinking my coffee." Anyway, he apparently sees this. I can, like, looking back in hindsight, he's obviously like, "Oh, well, I'm well in here." Because obviously we're talking about traveling as 2 people that are traveling. We couldn't just have a boy-girl conversation about traveling.
Of course not, yeah.
Yeah. And then at one point I was like, basically this progresses and I was like, is he weird? Like, I don't really know. But then he does this weird thing and I thought he had like a twitch in his finger. I've now come to process the situation. I think he was trying to stroke my arm. So Martin, you really need to work on your Riz, because as this autistic girl I was struggling with what the hell was going on. But like, also what the hell was going on, even for a neurotypical, I think I don't get it.
Get it together, Martin.
It was like, he was doing this, but he was like right on the curve of my arm. He was like doing, so I thought his finger had a spasm, basically. I didn't really understand what
wiggling away.
And then this conversation did not go where I think it.
Oh,
Basically,
gosh.
I was then, oh my God, I know what this guy's trying to do. This is gross. And then I basically stood up. I stood up because now I'm trapped in, right? Because I blocked myself in, offering him the next chair, and he didn't move.
Didn't get
He
the hint.
didn't move because I was like, I need to go and meet my friend now. You're like taking, because he'd just spoken at me for like 45 minutes. I was like, actually, I'm over this now. And I'd already said I was meeting a friend, and then he goes, oh, okay. Would you like? What did he say? Would you like to do something more?
The complete jump from, hey, I'm just sat on my balcony having coffee.
The opening was,
shall we
hi,
have
hi.
intercourse?
Yeah, it was basically
Basically.
like, have you ever been to Canggu? Are we going to sleep together just before I check out, actually?
The audacity and the nerve of any straight man on this
Bro.
planet to think that is just
And
the
he
automatic pathway.
spoke at me, and he was also
Ugh.
talking about football. And I'll be completely real with you. The more I looked at his face, the angrier I got. And I was just like,
Oh, that's the thing is though as well is like we're kind of like ha ha he.
Yeah,
but
no.
actually that is such a terrifying experience as a
actually
woman
was quite.
on your own in a country miles away from home.
Yeah.
It's like I can imagine actually that for anyone who may be listening or people who are looking for tips and information on solo traveling, especially as a woman, and I see a lot of it like on TikToks and people in comments, and I think that is the key factor, especially for women, in like, can I travel here? Is it actually safe for me? Which is obviously completely valid.
I
And then,
have
of course,
to,
when you hear these type of stories,
No,
it's not a wonder that women question that, because you just think,
so fair.
you know,
And I feel like I've probably told the wrong story, but that was the weirdest experience I had in 18 weeks.
of course.
That was the weirdest experience, because I literally
It's
was like,
weird.
how did we get here? We were talking about a place, and now it was just the weirdest thing. But like, clearly that man had audacity. And
The
I think
nerve,
the nerve,
gumption
but
to
no, what did it
call.
for me? Do you know what? Fair enough if people are going, because maybe people go traveling for whatever reason. But like, straight up, it was me standing up and making it physically clear that I needed to leave and I wanted to go now, and him not moving and blocking my exit. That's what fucking did it for me.
That's not
I was like,
good.
do you know what, mate? I'm done.
That's just
you
like
can
unsafe territory at that
Oh,
point.
I
though,
literally
'cause
was
it's
like, how
God
dare
forbid
you?
what could other thing,
Yeah.
not to get too dark here, but it's like,
Yeah.
thank God, I guess he,
Well,
did
this is the
eventually
thing
leave,
as
but
well.
it's
And
like,
this,
bloody hell, you have got to be so
Yeah.
careful.
and like where I was staying was set back off the road. So suddenly I'm like, oh my God, if he doesn't like the word no right now as well, I'm like in a place that's quite quiet, set back
Mhm.
away from anyone, knowing full well that other bungalows didn't have anyone in. I was like, oh boy. Thank God he just went and left after a no thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. No thank you.
Piss off. Martin from Germany.
Yeah,
This is a
Martin,
learning lesson.
never cross my balcony again.
To all the
Honestly.
Martins out there.
What the hell?
Learn the lesson about boundaries, respect,
So,
and read the room, hun.
Read the room. And no, I wasn't even giggling. Sometimes I do a polite giggle. Your stories were boring. I also wasn't listening. But what the hell? So I don't want to freak anyone out that's like potentially going to go, hey, I want to go. I felt really safe. I went back.
Yeah.
Like,
no, to be fair,
yeah.
like something
That was
like that
that was
can't just
1 hour of my life over 18 weeks.
Yeah.
So like straight up.
there was bound to always be something
oh my
that
God,
cropped
yeah,
up
of
with,
course.
especially in 4 months of traveling. Nothing. That's the thing about traveling in general is like even if you go for a week or you go for 4 weeks or 4 months, like you've got to kind of prepare yourself for the unexpected sometimes because the nature of traveling is things can go wrong. So, yeah, that's
it's
an
great.
interesting story though.
It's that was the weirdest thing that happened. Nobody really weirded. Actually, no, that's a lie. When I was in Hanoi with my other friend that I met in my second week, I then met her in Hanoi in Vietnam. We were in a hostel that was kind of grubby, but again, I don't really mind where I sleep.
Mhm.
You would never find Megs in that hostel.
Absolutely not. I would be in a
But
minimum
listen,
4-star hotel.
If I've got a bed, I'll sleep on it. Actually, don't usually need a bed. Just a little
Just a sofa.
a blankie on the floor. Whatever.
You're the type of gal who would sleep in an airport too.
I mean, I have, that's
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, that's what I've done. But yeah, there was one guy and he was really, really sweet, but he had night terrors.
Oh no!
It was just-
that must be quite
And,
embarrassing.
like, the first night, I don't even know if he knew. The first night, my friend was in the bunk below, and I was in the one opposite, and we woke up at like 2 a.m.
Was he like screaming? Is that
And he
what happens
literally
when you have
woke up
night
and was like,
terrors?
ah!
Oh no!
And we both woke
Oh my
up.
God. I always think that
Yeah,
about
it's
people
really
who
funny.
sleepwalk as
No,
well. Like,
I've not had a
oh my
sleepwalker yet, to be
God.
fair. But yeah, I've not had any like weird, because I hear loads of people, like I saw loads of stuff on TikTok this time as well, and I do not know what my algorithm was doing, but everyone goes on about people like having a little rendezvous in the hostels. I'll be real, and I saw one this morning where someone got peed on because she was on the bottom bunk and so. Listen,
Oh,
I have had
no.
none of that. I have had none of that. Maybe if you're booking like the £2
Yeah.
hostels, maybe just
I
up the
bet there's
budget.
some horror stories.
Up the budget to like £7. I think you'll be okay.
In the upper echelons, darling. Yeah, I reckon. Oh yeah, there's bound to be some absolute horror stories and like, to be fair, from my 2 experiences technically of hostels, one of them obviously is my own room. The only other one I stayed in was in Boston, and that was fine from my memory. I think that was more so, it was just overwhelming for me at the time, because like I think I came to realise, I was 20 at the time, that like, number one, hostels just were not for me because I'm not like that type of person. So it like threw me off, because I was like, oh, I just like didn't realise that it's actually is like fully just strangers and we're just awkwardly in the same room. And then another thing was about like the shared bath. And not that I even am weird about sharing a bathroom with someone, because it's like public bathrooms and all that, but it was just feeling like, oh, am I gonna like have private? I don't know.
Well, that's what I was
It's
thinking.
the privacy
Did you get a
thing, I
privacy
think.
curtain, or were your beds just in a dorm and everyone was looking at each other?
I can't remember. It might have had like a little, it's almost
Like
like
a
a little
netting.
pod thing. Yeah, there might have been something, but it's still just a really bizarre feeling. And
Oh, I love having a curtain.
oh yeah.
Oh,
you
shut
need
me
it.
out so I can't even, like, I don't even see anyone else. Put my earplugs in. I'm like,
Yeah.
dead to the world.
It's definitely a very unique experience. I'll give it that. And to be fair, it is like economically a great option. Like if you're not on a big budget and you're young and you're happy to share rooms, like it is a great option for people.
The one thing I would say, if you are going to do it, or you haven't done solo traveling or just like backpacking yet, if you stay in a hostel, make sure you wake up with the first alarm. I swear to God, if I have to hear your alarm 17 times, I'm going to smother you with a pillow and you're going to wake up because I'm punching you. Like, you'll be the most hated person in that dorm. What I'd also say is, if you're going to get, because I did this the first time a lot, and then you start listening to everyone. A lot of the time, obviously, in hostels, you'll have early flight. Everyone's moving around at different times. And obviously, if you have to be out early or you have to pack, I think a lot of people try to be really quiet when they're packing their bag. But that means they do everything slowly. So the zip goes from zzz to zzz.
It's more apparent.
Just do it fast, and then it will be like over sooner. Because you're going to wake people up. If they're going to wake up anyway. Most people are like actually gone to the world. Like, the one thing that amazed me is that I, again, hadn't done hostels until back in like my 2023 experience, and I was so concerned I wasn't going to sleep, but I actually ended up having my best sleep in hostels.
That's good.
Because I put my earplugs in, and I can't believe how dead to the world I was.
Maybe that is the top tip. Take earplugs.
Definitely need earplugs.
Do they need eye masks, maybe? What are the lights? What are we saying with the light temperature here? Because even though you might have a curtain, sometimes the light of the room can surely come through.
Can. Like, I never really found that. I like a little bit of light, especially in the morning. I never found that an issue. However, when I was then in Australia this time, that was my first experience, because I basically I'm fine with hostels, but I do love a privacy curtain.
Yeah.
If I don't have a privacy curtain, I'm not a huge fan, because, like, again, I like my own space. And I think at the end of the day, specifically when you're traveling, it's like there's just a physical barrier then to be like, this is my recharge time.
Yeah.
But when I was in Perth, I only stayed a couple of nights, and it was quite literally, there was 4 of us in a room and there was no privacy curtain. And I literally was in my bunk staring at the other girl.
Oh, it's just awkward. It's like being in a hospital.
Genuinely, yes. Like, I didn't find it as awkward as I thought I would, but I was like, I don't like the fact that, like, you can see me sleeping.
Literally, I would be like this.
Yeah. well, the first day I was really, really ill, and I hated that, because I was like, no, I need to be gone. I just need no one to look at me. And I was like, just in bed, like, frailing, like.
Also, like, if you're feeling like
me.
having a vulnerable moment, or you're like, I just want
God.
like no one to see me right
I just
now.
want a little silent cry.
Yeah.
No,
I feel
yeah.
you.
Loads of people do it, and actually, no, that's a lie. I had just a little net when I was, but there was only 2 of us in a room when I got to Gili Air the first time. This time there was me, and a friend I made on arrival, because she was in my dorm too, but it was really quiet. So rather than 4 of us in a room, there was just 2 of us. But we didn't really have a privacy curtain, but there was the mozzie net. So that sort of feels like you're in a little pod. You can obviously see straight through it.
sometimes it's just like you want that at least semi bit of privacy, because I guess when you're doing traveling anyway and you are in a hostel, you're going to be so social probably, and you're all talking and you're doing things all day, but you still kind of need that re-energy moment for yourself.
Recharge
Maybe
it.
recharging to like,
That's why I like
I just
going
need
in between
silence
though,
and leave me alone kind of thing.
because I feel like that's sort of what I did. The first couple of days I did like my first 3 nights in a hostel, and then I went, oh, it's actually, I can get some really nice bungalows for like pretty much a couple of pounds more a night. I'll stay here and I'll go, like, what the first week was in the same hostel again with a private room, and I was like, well, I'm still getting the benefit of meeting people anyway. And then again, I'll just talk to anyone. So I met people that were working at the hostel, and I met people just at dinner. And then especially when you're in smaller places, and this is, I think, the one thing I would actually say, and it's not even to do with accommodation really, it's the one thing I learned from my first time going, is I think there's this pressure that I certainly had, and I think a lot of people would probably agree. You end up, if you're going to backpack or like take maybe a couple of months off or like 6 months off and say do Southeast Asia, for example, you end up moving around pretty much every 2 to 4 days. And that is exhausting. Like, travel burnout is so real. It's such a privilege to have, but it's so real. Like, I was done. I made myself really ill.
Also, even just in the initial days when you get somewhere like that,
so jet lag.
The jet lag and just even the travel to get there.
Yeah.
And
shattered.
Literally, anytime I've been to America, I usually actually factor in like a day of my trip just to semi get on the same clock.
Yeah.
Because it like really throws you, doesn't it, jet lag?
Genuinely, like the first time I felt like after 2 nights sleep I kind of got it, but like, because this time round everything basically that could have gone wrong did go wrong. And even
you had a right drama with your flight, didn't you?
My God. The first time round I added this up, I think, when I got back. I did 18 weeks, I think, about 15 flights. Sorry, I know it's not all of them were like squidged in, you know. What is it? Economy.
Peasant cattle class,
peasant class, listen. But yeah, 15 flights I think it was. Not one of them was delayed, not one of them cancelled.
That actually is a true miracle for doing all that.
My bag did not go missing one single damn time, and trust me, by the end of it I was like, just can you lose it, I don't want it. My back hurts.
Do not wish that.
If I see my backpack the other end, I'm going to be livid. But I had zero
issues. A great experience.
Yeah, zero issues for 4.5 months. Actually, everything went impeccable. This time I turned up at Heathrow within an hour and a half of being at the airport. They cancelled my flight to Vietnam, so I was then 2 days delayed. Then because of that, my transfer, because I was going straight to flying into Bali, so I was meant to only have a 4-hour layover at Vietnam. Because of the cancellation, ended up having a 20-hour layover, which obviously messed up my sleep. And that's when I was sleeping in the gates at the airport, because what am I supposed to do? The flight landed weird and I had to wait until 10 a.m. the next day for my flight to Indonesia. So I'm literally getting broken sleep because obviously these gates are still being used throughout the night. And bless these people, I tell you, bless these people. I had a couple of people like tap me and wake me up because they didn't want me to miss the potential flight that I was not getting. But bless their soul, humanity was slightly restored then. But it just basically then meant my clock was just like not happening. So by the time I then got to Indonesia, it took the first week. I remember about 3-4 days in, I fell asleep at about 9:30 at night. I woke up at 11:15, and then I was awake the entire night. And I just sat there and was like, oh my good Lord.
There actually is nothing worse than jet lag waking you up in
genuinely
the middle of the night. Like, where am I?
I was like, I basically had a little nap, and then I had to go through. And the one thing that my cousin wouldn't let me do when I came home last time, he was like, I'm not letting you nap. You can go to bed early, but I'm not letting you nap. And it works. Like, you have to strive through. Because you do. You have to.
Whenever I've come back from like America trips with my family, and as is always the case, well, not just America, like lots of long haul destinations, they tend to always be night flights that get you into the UK first thing in the morning.
Yes.
But you're
going the wrong way. I'm thinking of coming from Asia. In Asia, that works. Bon magnifique.
For me, as someone who just simply cannot sleep on a plane, or quite frankly anywhere that is in my bedroom, like, that is such a
That's why traveling's not for you.
It's just
I can sleep anywhere.
It's so frustrating because you get into Heathrow at like 7, crack of dawn. You're so well, I'm personally usually all over the place at that point because I've just been on like a 10-hour flight, awake the entire night. I'm so uncomfortable. I feel awful. And then I get in the car and without fail, I cannot stay awake on that car journey. I go to sleep for like 2-3 hours because this is from the time where like we will be traveling from London Heathrow back to Wales. So I'm trying with all my might, like, stay awake, gotta stay awake the whole day. You can't go to bed for like another 12 plus hours. I just can't do it. My body gives out. It's like, oh, in the car.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's okay for like a little nap, but if you go for full sleep.
I was going to say, you just need one day, because the night I was awake the whole night, I was really scared to get to like 4 p.m. and go, oh no. And like your eyes start burning and your body's like, and then your mind's like, I don't even know who I am anymore.
I'm delirious.
You just need to strive, like absolutely push through for one day, because I'm not even being funny. Once I think I managed to go to bed at about 9:30 that night. I don't know how I managed it, but I more or less did like nearly 24 hours. Yeah. And then once I had that proper night's sleep, I was in the sink of it. And like that was it. Like literally, I was fine. And yeah, coming back this time was absolute bliss, because I flew from Bangkok at I think it was about midnight, which means by the time I've landed in London, it's 6:30 in the morning, and it's just like a night's sleep.
You're jammy because you can sleep. Oh, I'm literally so jealous.
My sister's the same. Literally, she hated me as a kid because she was like, you can just sleep as soon as you sit in the chair, and I'm like.
I'm not even joking. I've flown business class like once or twice, and even on night flights on business class, I still can't fall asleep. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but like I think it's like must be a mental thing for me where I'm so used to like a certain sleep environment where like I have my fan on, got the white noise, got like I like to sleep in complete darkness, to be honest, and obviously the environment of a plane, there's always sounds, there's announcements, there's people walking.
Usually I
cannot. You are?
Usually a crying child.
Oh my God. I remember once, I was on a flight, the last time I flew business class, actually. I think it was when me and my parents went to Florida in 2022. And we had business class for that outbound flight. And I don't know if you've ever been... Well, on a British Airways business class, they have the old version. They do have a really weird seat where it's like a leg rest comes down and kind of forms part of the bed, if that makes sense. It's a really poor design, but they're like these little cubbies, and the people who are on the inside by the window and whoever's on the outside on the aisle, you basically have to climb over the person. No. Literally, you have to clamber over them, which is, first of all, really stupid, right? But as adults, you just kind of accept that. But my mum, bless her, she was like on the aisle and she was just chilling. She's like awake watching a film or something, and she's got her feet out. And this lady next to her, who, bear in mind, she must have been like a grandmother. She was probably in her late 50s, 60s. And these friggin' kids, right, who were not even in the business class, they had trapped their ass down from economy to see Nanny.
Absolutely
and they
not.
Oh my God, it was actually so funny because my mum is like very patient for the most part, and it's like you just want to be
not
polite.
On my watch, kid.
A little kid, the kid kept going over, right, and you kind of let it pass the first time, but they kept doing it, right, and this grandmother said nothing, and my mum like probably doesn't want like the beef, you know, she's not wanting to get in an argument 30,000 feet up in the sky. But my dad, bless him, he was so like, not like, he didn't start a fight or anything, and he wasn't like a knob, but he was so stern.
Disrespectful.
It is respectful. My dad got right up and he went, "Excuse me, your grandchildren are, you know, climbing over my wife. My wife's trying to sit there and
enjoy her flight that she's paid for."
Yeah, we paid a lot of money for, and also respectfully, these kids they don't have a seat in this cabin.
You go back to Povo section, thanks.
Get back to your Povo seat, Len. To be honest, I think we were more annoyed at the fact that like the cabin crew didn't intervene or do anything.
Do you know what? I think that's crazy because that's so rude. Like, you don't do... If someone did that to me in my like Povo section, I'd be like, no, thank you.
If an adult walked into a business class section and they weren't seated there, they would be very quick to be like, "Sorry, sir, you can't sit in here."
Kids are even worse because they're loud.
3 kids jump in. My poor mum, she was like, "Sorry, I am in fact that. Oh, those are my legs. Those are in fact my legs that you are diving on."
Oh, she's much politer than me.
Anyway, my dad, fair play to him. It worked. Like he wasn't rude, but he was like quite stern. He was like, "Excuse me, my wife is sitting there. Would you mind please telling your
stop it
grandchildren
now.
to stop?" And she, like, the woman was like, oh, okay, sorry. And then she ushered them away finally. And I just thought,
that makes me mad though. What do you
that's
mean
right.
you never, what, you think that people should just put up with your kids as well, like the kids as well?
oh,
No,
I
thank
know.
you. If I'm on my flight, I want no.
With all due respect,
the
no
only
child should be in
disturbance
business
I want
class.
is you bringing me my food. I'm like, yes, that's me. Thank you very much.
There are certain adults that shouldn't be in business class,
Yeah.
let alone children, so
There are
respectfully.
certain people
I'm
that
not-
just shouldn't be on planes.
No, oh my God, honestly, airports, anywhere in the vicinity. That's something I was thinking about actually when thinking about this podcast. And just, I was actually speaking to my mum the other day about just the way that travelling is these days and what it's like in the airports. Because there's actually been a whole host of changes in Europe recently because of obviously post-Brexit.
Mm.
I don't know if you have experienced this yet. You might interestingly have it happen to you when you go to Egypt in a few days. But there's a whole new system now of border control in place post-Brexit, which obviously makes UK people's lives hell because we have to queue for 1,000 hours. But there's like a new layer of complexity where you have to get like, it's a little bit similar to when you go to America and you have to do the fingerprints and you have to get
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like you didn't have to used to do that in Europe and now we
Now
do.
we're all criminals, so.
Oh, you're a bunch of crims, we don't want you. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, first world problems, but like it is actually so frustrating because you spend like over an hour just trying to get into the damn country you've travelled to.
Do you know what though?
And it's mad.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm quite patient with like airports, but at the same time, I feel like I don't recall any of my airports being an absolute piss take. Like, I know I have to queue.
Yeah.
I was fuming this time because I went to 3 different countries and didn't get one stamp because it's all blooming
no.
digital. And I was like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
my stamp.
Give me my
What's
stamp.
the point?
No, I can't lie. It was a bit of a slog when my most couple of recent experiences in Europe specifically have been quite poor. Like Fuerteventura Airport, what a nightmare. I was the first time in my life thought I was going to miss a flight, which I've never in my life missed a flight. You know me, I'm so punctual. I'm a planner, and it was hilariously, I was the first person on the plane. And there was like hundreds of passengers who were still delayed in the border control.
Oh, that was...
And they had to delay our flight. And I was late. And I was like, oh my God, and those people are like extra late.
That's how I felt in Bangkok this time. I turned up and I was like, it's a midnight flight. I'll be so fine. And I turned up and I swear to God, half the planet were in it. I was like,
oh my God, literally.
Oh my God. And I was like 2.5, maybe I was broaching on 2.5 hours early, which usually wouldn't stress me out. But like when I walked in, I went, oh my God, this could be a problem. And I was like, thank God the what people call that work there? The staff.
The border control.
Like just staff in general. The people that work in airports.
Border
just
patrol.
The staff were like, they could see me with my backpack and I started to queue for my plane. And then he was like, no, where are you flying to? And I literally remember being so shocked by the queues. I was going home. All I had to say was London. And I was like,
no,
where am I going?
It's hilarious because people's functioning brains completely disappear in airports.
Oh my goodness.
And to be fair, I've probably been like it myself. We're all like it. But the thing we were saying about like people just shouldn't be on planes or be in airports, I can't fathom how inept people are. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's because I'm a bit more of a Susan traveller, but I do get a little bit irritated.
I think people stress out too much because
They
it's so
do.
easy.
It's
so easy.
stress-induced.
Like,
Yeah,
what do you
that's what I'm
mean?
saying.
Yeah, it was crazy. But they had going through, so once you've checked in your bag, you go through, don't you? You scan your boarding pass to then go through to security, whatever that queue is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's Bangkok Airport is like a big international, like,
yeah.
That queue, I went, and I was not in my UK clothes because obviously I was like, I'm going to get changed in the toilet and then check my bag in because obviously once I land, I'm going to be cold.
Yeah.
And I want my nice English clothes for when I land. And I literally had to push my way through about 6 rows of people because they were, I don't know, but thank God I was starting to panic because I went, oh my God, this is going to take most of the day. I'm going to miss my flight at this point because if this doesn't move, it's not going to be a 2-hour thing because I already knew that this was the first queue. And that was the only time I freaked out because I was like, what the hell is this? But they were so on it. And I have to say, by the time I came back out the toilet, it was a completely new queue. And then I checked in my bag so quickly, and they put me in another, like, they just opened all, like, the Thai Airways, and they was like, yeah, just chuck it there, because it doesn't really matter, does it? They just need to make it sure it goes on the right flight. And they were still so lovely. And then I queued up, and I'm not even being funny, they actually had, like, little boards that was like, queue time 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and they were like 5 minutes straight through. And then they also had, I've never had this before, but they were upstairs in security, they were like, this is a woman's line, women and children, women.
Oh, that's pretty good. I've seen like family lines before, but not women lines.
I was like, I've got no children, no. And they're like, no women, yeah. And so we had a whole girly line. I was like, I love
this. It's the girly pops line.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it was actually quite full.
Was it like a girl like manning the line, like come through, girlies?
Yeah, it was like, this is a woman's line, you can go through. And I'm like, thank you.
All the girls just high fiving.
Yeah, literally. Woo!
Oh, I need to go there.
But yeah, no. Other than that, peak.
Oh, well, you've had lucky experiences, because my mum and dad just came back from Lanzarote, and they said they had quite a stressful time just getting through the queues because there was so little border patrol to let people through. And she said that she overheard, or someone else in the queue said that it was probably Ryanair or something, but one of them had left over 100 passengers behind because the queues were just so long.
That's a lot of a plane.
It is.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's like nearly the entire flight. But the thing is, you got to think, like, some of these airlines, they won't get
airspace. They won't get airspace. Yeah.
Well, especially people like Ryanair. But like, to be fair, when I had my experience in Fuerteventura, I was flying with, I think it must have been EasyJet. I can't remember, but it wasn't Ryanair. And like, they, in fairness, waited. Like, they knew that the situation was bad in the airport. I eventually got on, and then the pilot, like, every couple of 10 to 20 minutes was like, hi guys, just a quick update. We are waiting for like 100 plus more passengers, so like we are going to be waiting here for a while. To be honest, like I would have been very thankful that they did that.
I was
going to
say,
to be in the last
you can't be
people.
miffed, because like most people would have also turned up on time.
Yeah.
But like that, I turned up, like they always say, don't they? Like 2 to 3 hours before, realistically. And there was no reason for me to think that like Bangkok airport would suddenly be like heaving.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's midnight. It's like, it was the busiest I had ever seen any of the airports I'd walked into. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going home.
And you know, I don't know if this is quite unique to Spanish airports, because I have experienced this a few times in Spain, or maybe it's like European airports, but it happened in Fuerteventura. One of the worst things that is so poorly advertised is in most airports, especially in UK airports, you go to the check-in desk, right? And you either drop your bag or you do check-in and drop your bag, right? You go through security, and then you're through to the shops, and then you go to the gate, right? That's generally the universal experience that we're all used to, right? And then obviously border patrol on the other end. But in Spain, they do all of that, except when you get to the shop area, there is another layer of border patrol before you go to your gate. And that happens a lot in Spanish airports. It happens in Barcelona, Fuerteventura, Palma. You've basically got to make sure you give yourself enough time to do another border patrol check before you can go to the gate. But people don't know that. Because understandably, naturally, if you get to the shop bit, you just think, oh, well, I'm here now. I've got through all the checks. I just got to find my gate, and the rest is history. But no, people don't know that. And then they come across like a hour-long queue, and it's like, oh, shit. My flight boards in like 10 minutes. And that's what happened. So.
When I was, where was I going? I think I was going from Chiang Mai to Bangkok. And they were also quite busy checking in. And I have to say, the lady was really good, because they just have like, what was it, like I can't remember what it was. It was like Vietnam Thai Airway or something. It was like one of the internal one, like Air Asia. And they obviously had like an influx of people. And they had them in the queue, and the lady actually did come and check which flight we were checking in for, because I think she was making sure that obviously like the Bangkok one was going next.
Yeah.
She was making sure that the people that needed Bangkok were at the front, and I was like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Please, miss. But yeah.
Oh, hi there, Weekly Wigz squad. Hate to interrupt our marvellous conversation there with Miss Amber Adel, but I'm actually just chopping in here to put this down to a 2-part podcast. I've actually never done that before, but do you know what? Me and Amber, we love to bloody yap, as you well saw, for the first hour or so, and we in fact had another full, 45 minutes to an hour. So I was like, do you know what? Let's actually put this into a 2-parter, because it kind of ended just rightly before we started talking about other travel stuff anyway. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I just wanted to sort of hop in at the end here to make that clear and to sort of break it up. So thank you for listening to this part 1. Thank you, Miss Amber Adel, for joining me as usual. We had a hooty hoot hoot. As usual, guys, please drop us a like, a follow, a subscribe. Get in the comments, get in the DMs, you know the deal. Let us know some of your best travel spots, some of your travel experiences and stories, some thoughts on Culture Corner, all the rest of the stuff that we spoke about. And make sure you listen out next week for part 2 of our conversation, where we just get deeper into our travel experiences and stories. And I got an interesting little story about the time I nearly got megged in Barcelona. So stay tuned for that one, honeys. I hope you have a marvellous rest of your week though, and I'll catch you on the next one, honey. Bye.